Hello, everybody. We are so glad that you're here. I'm Tammy Whitehurst, and I am the co-owner of the Christian Communicators Conference with Lori Boroff. We love what we do, and we meet people all over the United States doing what we do. It is a time whenever speakers can come together and we meet our own people, and that's the part that is so awesome to us. We love to be with those people who are our own people. Let me see if I've got anybody else coming in before I get totally kicked off and going. I sure do. Just one moment. Watching what we do. And the one thing that we cannot do is disappear. We cannot disappear. We have to stay out there. It is difficult sometimes if you, like me, last year I lost 35 of my 75 bookings. And that's a tough thing to deal with, because you don't know if this is what you're supposed to keep doing. You don't know if you're supposed to go a different route. What it is doing is making you stretch outside your comfort zone. And that's one of the hardest things to do, because we get real comfortable in our comfort zone, but a lot of times God is moving us into different directions. I did a lot of moving around, a lot of hustle and bustle in 2020, trying to figure out how to stay out there. Let me say that one of the first things you can do, I'm going to pause right here because I hope that you have Word up, or you have your notes up, or you have something to write with, because I have a lot of information to put into this power-packed 30-minute session for you. First of all, if you are a speaker who had bookings that were canceled last year, if your bookings were canceled last year, go back and find all of those emails where they canceled. You can easily look at your schedule or whatever you do. Do not email them in bulk. Never email people in bulk as a speaker. Whether you are trying to get your name out there to different churches, whether you're emailing women's ministers, don't ever email in bulk. You want everything to be personal. So all of those bookings, the 35 bookings that I lost last year due to COVID, I emailed each one individually. And I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you an example of what I said. I said, "Hello, Cheryl, what a year it's been. A tough one indeed. However, I choose to walk forward in faith, believing brighter days are ahead. Hugs will be welcomed without hesitation, and laughter will be shared again." Now, that's how I put it all in there. And I said, tipping my coffee cup at you now. I use that a lot. Then I said I was scheduled to speak with your group in 2020, but COVID, of course, caused us to cancel. So how would you like to try again, Cheryl? Let's get on the books again. My vote is to move forward. What about you? It's like I'm having a conversation with her. That's what you want to do. And you want to say her name in there. We have to be personal. Then I invited her to take a look at the booking calendar on my website. I have mine on my website. If you go to tammywhitehurst.com and you click on calendar, you can easily see how all of my bookings are in a row. A lot of people do it differently. I will tell you that most event coordinators tell me they love it that way because it's at a glance. They don't have to click on different dates and then it says that's not open. So if you can make yours that way, that will help you tremendously from the event coordinator's perspective. So I invited them to go over to my website, click on calendar, and look at the different dates that were already scheduled. And then I said, if I'm in your area speaking, even if I'm already booked, remember this, because I get a lot of people to take me up on this. If I'm in your area already speaking, it is not a problem for me to speak at your gathering for dinner if I'm speaking at the other one at lunch. Do not be afraid to have two bookings in one day. Some of you are saying, I just want one booking in one day. Okay, I understand. But you may not have the date open You may have something scheduled for lunch that day and they really needed an evening speaker. Jump on it. Do not be afraid of it. Are you going to be tired? No. You're going to be exhausted when it's over. But God is going to give you the energy that you need to get through and to go through that. Then what I say is, I'm in your area speaking. It's no problem for me to work you into my schedule. May we never forget that the joy of the Lord is our strength. Have a blessed beyond belief kind of day. Then I don't end it right there. You need to have another line. My line is this: I look forward to continuing this conversation. That's what I always put at the end. Most of the time, people will come back, but you want it to look friendly from beginning to end. You don't want it to look businessy. We're in a world now where people like used to teach a session like what I'm teaching right now. I would not have worn a denim jacket. I would have worn a black jacket and looked all, for lack of a better term, business professional. However, we are in a time right now where casual is considered professional in a Zoom setting. So not too casual. Don't come out here in your t-shirt with paint on it because you painted your house the day before. For a lot of us, we did a whole lot of things in 2020 that needed to be done. Painting was one of ours. Now, that is just one example of what you can do when it comes to the bookings that may have been canceled. I have several, so I'm going to keep going. Another one, whenever you're driving around the city, write down certain churches that you would love to speak at. And then you go look up their women's director. This takes digging. We have to do this. I do this kind of thing. Then you send an email out and you ask if they are going to be doing any women's events this year. You would love to be considered as a speaker. Send them to your website. You really need to have on your, like at the bottom of mine, it will say Tammy Whitehurst, and then it has a lot of links down there. It has my tagline, it has my website, it has my YouTube channel. It has everything down there they can click on and they can find out about me real quick. You want to have that underneath your signature line because that way you're a one-stop shop. They can click all of those and they can find out what you're doing and who you are. Don't say that you cannot do virtual. If somebody contacts you and says, we're going to have a virtual conference, we would like for you to be a speaker, would you consider doing that? The answer is yes, yes, yes. If you don't know how to do virtual, you say yes anyway, and then you figure it out. I get booked in some secular and Christian settings both. Because I was a middle school teacher for a long time. In August and January, I usually have a lot of schools that have me talk to their administration and to their staff, not to the student, but to the administration on teaching them how to keep going in the midst of what they're going through. I love teaching teachers because I was one. And so motivating teachers is one of the things that I did. I lost every one of those. What I immediately did was I emailed every single one of those schools and said, I would still love to do a conference for your teachers or a gathering for your teachers if you are willing to do it outside the box. I got one immediately and he said, yes, if you can record a Zoom and you can have a header and a footer and everything on it, make it a professional Zoom, I will still hire you and pay you what I was going to pay you. Can you do this? Yes, yes, yes. That's what I said. Did I know how to do it? Absolutely not. Was I willing to figure out how to do it? You better believe it. And so I called another CC sister because it's all about networking. It's all about marketing with each other. And it's about friendships that last. I called another one who lives near me and I said, hey, can you help me with this? She said, you better believe I can. I ended up selling that video, that session to 5 different schools.
Wow.
Be ready. Be ready to do something that you may not know how to do, but God's going to give you somebody who does. We help each other out. That's what we do. So don't say you can't do something just because you don't know how to do it or because you're old school. I'm old school too. Old school ain't bad school, but old school has to learn new school sometimes. It's all about don't disappear. While you are out there, work on a new book. Set up your YouTube channel, very important. Have an email list. Some of you have that, some of you don't. I didn't have that for a long time. And Lori continually told me, Tammy, you got to get that going. Well, when I started getting it going, it took off. So now some of you are going, I don't even know how to do a YouTube channel. I don't even know how to do an email list. That's where we learn how. That's where we learn. If you are a speaker or a writer, you have to have a teachable spirit. It's imperative. It has to be in you to learn how to do new things. Rework your one sheet. This is a perfect time to rework that one sheet because and you want to have it on your website. If you do not have a website yet, you want to have that where you can send it every time you talk about speaking. Like for instance, whenever I sent out all those emails to those 35 that I lost last year, I attached my one sheet to that because I want it to be a one-stop shop email. I want them to look at it, to be interested in it, and then to book me for a date. I will say in the last week, I have had 5 bookings. In the last 8 days now. In the last 8 days, I have had 5 bookings. Those 5 that I have gotten for this year have come off the email that I sent 2 weeks ago to everyone who canceled last year.
Wow.
They may not come in quickly like that. I was surprised I got 5 right off the bat. But you know, one of the things I said in the email was I said this, if for some reason we have to cancel due to COVID, don't worry about it. We'll just reschedule again. That made them feel comfortable looking at my calendar, choosing a date and saying, you know what, she's going to be okay if we have to reschedule again. You got to be flexible. And when somebody does call and cancel, immediately say, would you like to reschedule now? Or do you want me to just wait a little while? 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, let's wait. But you give it 3 months and you email them back and see if they would like to put a date on your calendar. You have to follow up. You have to follow up. Then, whenever you're reworking your one sheet, do you need to rework your business card? Does your business card have your picture on it? If it doesn't, it needs to have your picture on it. Budgets are a big thing this year because a lot of people, churches, different organizations, they don't have the big budget that they used to have to pay a speaker. Work with their budget. I'm saying it every single time. My email that I send out, when people ask me, what are your fees? I used to have sometimes fees that I would send if people really ask, but I've never really had set fees because I've always said, I will work with your budget. Work with their budget. Right now, you take what you can get just to stay out there. Now, some of you going, yeah, right, Tammy. You're not having to worry about that. Let me tell you one that I took. Because anytime somebody's calling me right now, pretty much I'm taking it if I don't have something booked on that day, because I'm thanking the Lord every step of the way that somebody else has come in and asked to book me. I had a group call me, and it is not my typical group. It is a traveling motorhome group.
Wow.
And at first, when she emailed me, I thought, traveling motorhome group. And what they do is they make stops all over the United States. And there is about 60 of them. My largest crowd ever has been 2,500. My smallest crowd, you know, it can be 20, 25. But she said there'll be about 60 of us, and we would love for you to talk, to inspire us, to motivate us, to get up and just make us laugh a little bit. And we just need a speaker. Are you willing to be the speaker? I said, I will work with your budget. I got off the phone and I talked to my husband. I said, I've never booked a traveling motorhome group before. But if you've heard me speak at uh, at the Christian Communicators Conference, I tell you quite a few things that we didn't expect that sometimes come along. I have no doubt that whenever I get up to speak at this traveling motorhome group, that God is going to be there, that He is going to do something because I said yes. I just want to be obedient. That's what this is all about. If you have a calling to be a speaker or a writer, a lot of it is obedience. And so many times it may not be what you expected, but it's where God led. You don't quit. Yesterday, I wrote on a blog that if you remember, whenever they were marching around, he told Joshua, you go 7 times around on the 7th day. What if he would have quit on the 6th round? You don't quit. You keep going. You let God push you through this. Now, I'm going to keep going. Again, stay visible, don't disappear. Do Bible studies. I teach online Bible studies that they're not recorded, but I have a group who comes in. I just got through teaching Philippians to a group. Teach Bible studies. People are going to join that, and then stay consistent. Mine was every single Tuesday. That's keeping me visible out there. And when somebody says, hey, we need a speaker, I know one. She just taught a Bible study I was part of. Stay visible. Zoom is not hard. It's kind of intimidating at the beginning when you're trying to work out all the little things that might appear to be difficult. You can do this. Every single one of you can do it. Teach a Bible study. Do Facebook Live. I know it's scary, but the more you do it, the better you get at it. The better you get at it, the more you'll do it. So you practice. People don't expect you to be perfect. They just want you to be real. They're not even attracted to perfection. They're attracted to real. Do you really understand where I'm at in the real times that we're at today? That's what they want. I have been running a devotional on my Facebook page, not my personal Facebook, but my Tammy Whitehurst speaker page. I have been running a devotional on there since 2008, consistently, 5 days a week. I schedule them ahead of time. Sometimes I don't, a lot of times I do, but they just like clockwork. You have to be consistent. That is extremely important. But devotionals on Facebook pages, if you don't have a blog site, though, that is your blog, and people will come back. There's a lot of people that have a lot more followers than me, but I am quite a bit over 15,000 on, closer to 16,000 on the Tammy Whitehurst speaker Facebook page. On my personal page, I have 5,000 on there. So I try to push everybody from the personal page over to the Tammy Whitehurst speaker page because that's where my devotional is at. But I used to run it on my other page until it got up to 5,000, and Facebook doesn't let you go over 5,000 on your personal pages. All right. Throw your own event. I teach you this whenever you come to CCC, and we teach you how to do it. But I will tell you, still do it. Do not give up and think that you can't do that. I'm going to do a screen share, and I hope you can see it, because I want you to be able to see what we are. Okay, I'm involved in one. People said, Tammy, don't do anything right. Don't do your own event right now. Nobody's going to come. We're sold out. We sold out in 72 hours. Let me show you what it looks like. Share screen. Here we go. Okay, is it up there yet?
No.
You got it now?
Yeah.
Okay. That sold out in 72 hours. It was exciting that it sold out in 72 hours. That is several of my friends. Many of them are former CCC girls. Many of them. That's right. And we get together. We don't forget each other when it's over. We get back together. And even some of them said, oh, Tammy, is it going to work? It worked. I got a place that actually, it's a smaller place. It holds about 100 people. Because of COVID, we limited it to 50 people. And it took no time to fill it up. So keep that in mind. It took absolutely no time to fill that up. Don't be scared if you don't have name recognition, because I'm going to tell you, you don't have you don't have to have name recognition for people to want to get together. And you put musicians together. Women are so weary right now. They're so ready to get back together. Take advantage of that and throw something yourself. All right. Then we called it rescued. And they immediately jumped in. As a matter of fact, we have a waiting list so that if people cancel, other people can take that. I would be more than happy to help you. If you live near me, we can have lunch. We can have coffee. You can Zoom me and we can talk about how you can make something work. God didn't make me a speaker to be a selfish speaker. I firmly believe that, because people will ask me all the time, why in the world do you train your competition? And I say, I'm not training my competition. We're building a team. We need all the kingdom builders we have right now. This is not about competition. This is about collaboration. And with that being said, as we begin to close down this, I want to tell you that if you are a speaker who's never been to the Christian Communicators Conference, and I know a lot of you have, if you have never been to the Christian Communicators Conference, we would love for you to attend. It's going to be in Texas this year. And it's at the end of July. Go to christiancommunicators.com. christiancommunicators.com. Take a look at it. There will be people from all over the United States that attend. And we come together, we collaborate. There is absolutely no intimidation, because we're not competing against each other. We're helping each other out. And we do conferences together. We do a lot of things together. We're excited to announce that Christian Communicators Conference is an in-person event this year in Fort Worth. And because we're a small conference where big things happen, you're going to meet your next group of friends, and we would love for you to be a part of that. But if God does not nudge you, and listen to me on here, if God does not nudge you to be a part of that, please don't come, because it's got to be when God is leading you to be there. Christian Communicators changes a lot, a whole lot. I love that about it. We are a lot different now than we were 4 years ago. And we bring in different people. We're having breakout sessions this year. It's exciting. If you are familiar with Patricia Durgan, she adds a whole lot to our conference, and people love her. Her presentation is always over the top and kicked up a notch, and you leave with a whole lot. All right, we are about to run out of time. So if you have any questions, go to tammywhitehurst@gmail.com. You are welcome to email me. I want you to know that we can't wait to see you at the 1 o'clock session with Lori Boroff, who she's going to have a lot of information to teach you as well. And we both would love for you to go to christiancommunicators.com and look at the conference. If you are an alumni, you do get a discount if you want to come back again. So thank you so much for being with me today. I'm going to look around now and I see all these faces, and a lot of you have books and a lot of you are speaking, and that's always exciting. But let us help you. Let me help you. Call me, email me, whatever you need. We're going to land this plane. Have a great day. I hope it's blessed beyond belief. Let's continue the conversation. See you later. Bye-bye.